I have $1.9 million in vintage toys. You name it, I got it. Collectors are guys that you go to their house, don't touch this, everything's in glass, that costs $5,000. I enjoy what I have. I can open it if I want to. I can play with it if I want to. This is when fiber optics came out in the 70s. This is old watch. In every man, there's a boy. I always promised myself that when I got old, I was going to have plenty to do. I saved when I was young so that when I'm old, I'll have. You want to see something that you haven't seen in a while? I got it. This was the first toaster. I have something for everybody. It's for females, dolls, all collector dolls. It's for old people, it's for young people, and I guarantee you, when you come here, if you come on a Tuesday, you'll think about me up to Friday. You see my face smile when I see stuff like this? It's like, yeah. It's like being a broke Walt Disney. Every time I come in here, it's mesmerizing. People didn't know that they made action figures for everything. It's called a blue collar museum because in this house, these are the things that working people had. I wasn't privy enough to have money. I knew how to get things and hold on to things. And when you come here, it'll take you back to things that aren't anymore. It's like calling it the good old days. You want to see that? You can see it here. Give me a room, I'll find something to put in it. I grew up at Richard Allen Homes in Philadelphia. I was born at Jefferson Hospital. In younger days, I would do different things for people to get a couple dollars, and I was always a big 5 and 10 guy. I would go to 5 and 10, and everything back then was a dime and a nickel. That's how I started. These are called steadfast soldiers. I worked on the same job 30 years, and they paid good money. The Transit Authority in Philadelphia. I had kids that had one of my traits. They liked toys. They drove me crazy to take them to see the first Star Wars movie. And we all went to Star Wars, and then they wanted the toys when Christmas came, so I started buying the toys, and every day I would go down and make sure they had every figure. And to this day, they have every first Star Wars figure. Star Trek, Star Wars. Stargate is over here. I believe in using your imagination and your creativity, and don't be like everybody else. Be something different. You want to leave a legacy and you don't have any money, this is one way to do it. I come down his time and I sit and I don't do nothing. I sit here and I do absolutely, you just look and you think about what you're going to do next. There's a different theme in every room. We have a sports room, we have an African room. You leave that room, you have a frozen room. Boxing tie clips and cufflinks, that's from the 50s. Then I have a boxing room. I have Howard Cosell and Muhammad Ali hand puppets. If you look in the ceiling, you got exploding planets. When I mesmerize you through the whole house, and I take you through the doll room, I take you to 1942, I take you to the future with Star Trek, and by that time you're mesmerized, and then I finish you off by letting you go down the basement, and I just leave you there most of the time and let you mesmerize yourself. And it's just imagination. Rourke's Drift, 15 millimeters, Zulus. Took me 10 to 15 years to paint this and I'm not finished. Something to say that I was here. That's all that matters. Money doesn't matter. Always find your niche, what you like, and do the best with it you can do. This is the oldest figure that I have. Oldest. I had to be no more than 8 years old. These out of all of them, these are the ones I like the most. I don't like the word collector. Collector collects one thing. When you have a museum, you can go in all phases of this. We actually have a Red Ryder, Daisy Red Ryder air gun. Took me a long time to find that. Everybody wants to talk about a toy, regardless of what it is. When you come in and people are happy at what you did, that means job well done. I don't care what you do. And I always give you something. I'm gonna start you with this. Here's something, get started. If I got something to hear when you were a kid, then I'm gonna give it to you. If that fascinates you, then you can have it.
As we get older, some of us feel like we need to cut ties with our toys, but not everyone does. According to one market research company, kidults make up 27% of total toy sales, and it defines a kidult as anyone older than 12. Now, playing with toys doesn't have an age limit, and along with being nostalgic, they can just be a lot of fun. One of our producers is a bit of a kid at heart, so we sent him out to play with one major toy collector.
Lauren, I know you couldn't make it, so they're stuck with me. We're about to meet Bill Leff, an avid toy collector, former stand-up comedian and actor, to show us his collection.
Oh, sounds like she's here. Hello?
Hey, Bill, Simon from the Y.
You're not Lauren.
No, she couldn't make it.
Your show is called The Y?
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Why isn't Lauren here?
Well, it's just gonna be me today. After some haggling, Bill eventually let us in and brought us upstairs to his toy mecca.
This room that we're in right now is heaven. This is my heaven. This is my time machine. When I'm in this room, I call it the office because this is where I get all my work done in here. But there are some distractions, as you can see, to the left, to the right. There's some distractions. When I was a kid, I always got really sad that a toy had a certain expiration date on it, in that it would break, an arm would come off, the head would pop off, something bad would happen. And I always thought, what if somebody was stupid enough to not throw those toys away, but to take care of them, to put them back in their boxes when they were done playing with them, and to save them for the rest of their life so that every time they saw them, they were reminded of themselves when they were 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 years old. And then that dumb guy was me. I was the one who decided to do that.
Bill has almost 30,000 toy pieces now, and he showed us some of his favorites, including a set of presidential action figures.
These are the Marx Presidents. They used to come out every 4 years. You'd get them in various grocery stores. So they made everybody from George Washington, who's in the #1 spot right over there, and all the way in the back, you can see Richard Nixon, who's the second from the end. Then they stopped. The company went out of business, Marx Toys, but other collectors, other toy collectors, have made the other presidents since then.
And of these presidential action figures, which is your favorite?
Oh boy, well, I've always said that Roosevelt is my favorite, because I don't know if you can see, but he's got a cape on him. And I thought when I was a kid that Roosevelt could fly. And had a big debate with one of my history teachers saying he can obviously fly. Because at that point, when you're a kid, anyone with a cape has the ability to fly. But Roosevelt, as it turned out, I've done extensive research, could not fly.
You don't win 4 terms without being able to fly.
No. This is the Hot Wheels 50th anniversary set. What they did was they took what they call the Sweet 16. These were the first 16 Hot Wheels cars, and they put them on a display the way that they first came out in the late 1960s. So I was lucky enough to get one of these. Loved Hot Wheels when I was a kid. Every time new ones would come out, my mom would take my brother and I to Tops, which was a department store when I was growing up, and we'd each pick out 1 or 2. And now I've got a bunch of them in the original cards, just like they were with the buttons, just like they were in the late 60s and early 70s. These are made by the Palmolive Company, and they're called Sokies. So they only did 4 of the Universal monsters, but they also did the Beatles, they did Alvin and the Chipmunks, they did Cowboys and Indians and stuff. So what these were you would buy them, and you'd have them in the bathtub, and then you'd unscrew their head, take that off, and you had soap inside. Very rare to get the 4 monsters. This was the Johnny West set, and there's a couple of other figures that they made after they made the store display. To put a worth on it right now is a little bit difficult. Here's why. All the figures themselves are worth a lot, and then if you have them in their boxes, they're worth even more. But the store display was so rare, you know, they only sent it to a certain amount of Toys R Us or KB Toys, whatever your toy store was locally, Lionel Toys World in the South. So to have the store display in pretty close to mint condition, it's not an absolute mint condition, but again, it's 50 years old, you know? So something like this is probably worth in the $8,000 to $10,000 range, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less.
For Bill, the toys aren't a financial investment. Their worth is measured in memories and nostalgia.
When I'm in this room, all I can think about is the happiest day of the year, Christmas morning, because this is what it looked like. This is what Christmas looked like, just toys piled up every year. That's the way it is here in this room. Toys are special to me because they're such a work of art, you know? I said to somebody once, if somebody gave me the option of having just a little bit of this collection, or having the Mona Lisa, or having Nighthawks, or you name your favorite painting, I would take the toys because they're so reflective of what once was, what is now, and what will be. Toys are the beginning, the middle, and the end of almost every story. When you're a kid, that's the thing you want most for Christmas. To this day, as Christmas approaches, when I open a box on Christmas morning and it's not a toy, I'm very upset about that. I want a toy, I don't want a sweater.
You are definitely never too old for toys. Our thanks to Bill for opening his home to us. And Bill, I'm sorry I could not make it. I will definitely have to come by soon.
Back here in the zone, and I'm here with Jacqueline Matter now. And this is the first time we've shared a screen, right?
We were trying to think about that, and we were like, wait a second, I think it is. So
and
we're
do it
excited
on the
about
day
that.
that we're celebrating girl power, right?
I know, I love that. Even better.
And I love working with you. You're such a delight and pleasure.
Thank you.
All right, let's do this. We're talking about a little girl power right now. Obviously, the Barbie movie is sweeping the nation. So, Jacqueline, one of the stories you've been doing led you to a pretty cool Barbie discovery, right?
Yeah, so a few months back, I met a man who had this enormous Hot Wheels collection. You might remember that story. It went viral. Well, when I met him, Bruce Pascal, he introduced me to a woman in Potomac who he said had an extremely large Barbie collection. So I have been waiting to talk about this story because it was just such a unique story. So reached out to her, Leslie Greenberg. There she is. She's joining us live right now. Good to see you, Leslie. Look at all those Barbies, guys.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Good to have you on here. So tell us about your Barbie collection and really how this all came about.
In the 1990s, I saw that they had, Bloomingdale's had dolls that were designers. So it was Donna Karan, and she had like a Monica Lewinsky hat, and was it Calvin Klein and all those dolls. And so I started getting those, and then they started doing a lot of the movie theater, the movies. So like Addams Family was, the TV shows that I liked, and they had like Dynasty, and you could see all the other ones, Flashdance and Grease and all that, and I started getting into that. It was more of a pop culture collection. And then in, I think 2006, I applied to be in the on Mattel's Collectors Advisory Panel, and I was selected and got flown to California, and was able to meet all the designers and see all the way how they make dolls and all, and I got hooked and went to one of the conventions, and then that was the end, and my collection then exploded. So.
Talk about exploding. I mean, you've got hundreds from what we can see behind you. What is your most prized Barbie? Could you show us that?
Yes, you got to keep going. And so I have the original #1 Barbie is what it's called, and this is the one that came out in 1959.
Oh my God!
And she's right there. So she's my favorite, but I love them all. So.
Leslie, part of the whole message behind the Barbie movie was really this feminine empowerment movement. Talk to us a little bit about your thoughts on Barbie and what she does for young girls.
I think it's a matter of how you play with her, like what you do with her. Like, I think she's great. Like, she's been everywhere. She's had every career. She travels the world. And now she comes in every shape, size, and nationality. And I just think she's great. And I think she's great for, guys and girls. When I go to the conventions, half the guys that are, half the people there are men.
Wow.
So I think it's, she represents us well. So, and Ken too.
She just keeps opening different doors.
And just to be clear, this is your home, right? This is not a museum or anything like. This is your home.
Yes, it is.
This dream house.
So yeah, my kids have grown up, and I've used the basement, to be my babe cave.
This is remarkable, and I mean, I'm telling you, my mind is blown. I was just telling Jacqueline, I have 2 huge boxes of Barbies that I was gifted years back, many of them the original boxes. I thought I was doing something with those boxes. You've put me to shame, and now actually you've inspired me to actually maybe put them out. And show folks the splendor of Barbie, right?
Yeah, Leslie, do you ever open
Barbie
it up?
Having her moment.
Do you ever open it up so people can come by and see?
It was all. A lot of my daughters and sons' friends come and check it out, and they're, kind of either think I'm crazy or they're in awe.
You're not crazy.
But I'm so happy that Barbie's having her moment.
Indeed she is. Leslie, we have to leave it there, but thank you so much for sharing this with us. Okay, DMV Zone, you never know what you're going to catch in the show. Barbie collection in full effect in Potomac.
I have a question. Is there something you get really, really excited about, or maybe you like to collect? All week, right here on ABC 10 Morning Blend, we were looking at people who collect things, and some may go just a little too far. Take a look at this kid's Star Wars collection from back in the day. Just watch.
I just liked the movie a lot. I thought the technical effects in it were real good. I just liked the movie a lot.
Do you recognize the voice? Do you recognize the hair? Do you recognize that kid at all? Guess what, my friends? That was Marcus Allen showing off his Star Wars collection. Mark, there you are. You're shaking your head. You were adorable. If only we would have known that that kid would go on to be the movie man.
I want to get in a time machine, go back and tell that kid a lot of things. First of all, kid, ditch the hair. No. But I'd probably say that to myself about every 2 years. No. I wanted to look like Luke Skywalker. My hair grew out again to look like Darth Vader's helmet. But keep in mind, that was only a few months after the original movie came out. This guy, Khalil Hedrick, Megan, my God, wait till you see the Star Wars explosion in this house. Are you ready?
Wait.
Here we go.
Are you knocking or just barging? Okay.
A little bit of knock, a little bit of barge. Khalil, the world, Khalil. How are you?
Greetings, very well.
Is that a Star Wars shirt?
Can you come in?
Come on in.
Oh my God, I can already tell you right now, this is absolutely Megan. Megan, you might as well go get a cup of coffee because I know you're not going to geek along with me, but this is amazing. I just want to sob. Wow. It's so beautiful. Look at this. This is every square inch, Megan, tell us. Oh my God, is it what's playing on TV? Is that the Ewok special?
The Ewok's Adventure.
Megan, I've only heard about this. I didn't even know you could. How are you even watching? I didn't even think this existed anymore.
We had to pull out the laser disc for it.
Laser disc? Right. Megan, this is like a format that only existed for like 2 months in America. You bought a laser disc player to play that.
I was gifted a laser disc player.
Oh.
My goodness gracious, this is amazing. When did your love of Star Wars start? So you're a yoga instructor by day, a Star Wars collector by night?
Correct.
How did it start? Where did you fall in love with the films?
I remember being at the first movie in the drive-ins in the back of the Volvo, so I must have been 3 or 4 and couldn't get enough.
We had many spirited discussions earlier, and you said your other half not too happy with all of this.
No, she enjoys it now. It's just, keeping it tidy and keeping it dusted is, a constant thing.
Right, he's had to move like half his collection to a room. Megan, we're just in one room. Every square inch of this house. Come in here and look at
the entire
Oh my
house?
gosh, original figure. I had these when I was a kid. I used to get beat up at school for bringing my toys to school. Yes. Oh my gosh. What's your favorite thing of all your collection?
Oh, probably one of the first things I was given, the original watch.
The original LCD watch. Oh my goodness gracious, Megan, tell us. I had that watch when I was a kid. Getting so many memories coming back to life. Oh, look at the corner. If you go to Disneyland, when you exit Star Tours, like that entire section of your house over there dedicated to stuff you can only buy in the Star Tours shop. Is that right?
Correct, yes. Some of it's limited edition.
I'm blown
I
away.
got the whole set of the statues, which I'm pretty proud of.
Oh.
Look at how many sabers does a guy need? Look at all the lightsabers.
Yeah, you'd be surprised what people just throw at the Goodwill. Most of the lightsabers I just find thrift stores.
Now, any members of your family that aren't a member of the Star Wars cult that say maybe it's crossed over to being unhealthy?
Oh, definitely. Yes, that's why I have to keep it hidden sometimes from friends and family.
You're a closet Star Wars fan sometimes.
Most of the time.
They don't want to know that you've bought another thing.
Well, I mean, 10 years ago it wasn't as apparent as it is now. So now it's in everyone's face.
Is that a Wookiee hat?
It's a Wookiee hat.
Can I wear your Wookiee hat?
Please do.
Oh, this is awesome. Megan, tell us, how much do you want a Wookiee hat?
I want a Wookiee hat. Am I even saying that right,
barter
Rob?
or trade with him
Mark,
for something?
if you can hear me, this is Rob. I want to jump in. If he has the Ewok special on Laserdisc, does he have the holiday special that no one's ever seen since like 1978? Does he have that, the holiday special?
Does he?
Oh, that's a great question, Rob. Let's come in here and frame it by having over the shoulder. We want to have this over the shoulder as we talk about this. Rob Carlmuck has a great question. It's like a unicorn. People talk about the holiday special, the Christmas special.
Sure.
Do you have that?
I have it on VHS, yes.
Oh!
I couldn't dig it out. I couldn't find it on time.
See, Megan, before there were DVDs, Megan, tell us, and before you could get iTunes downloads, there was something called VHS.
Yes, I went to Blockbuster growing up.
Do you have it?
I can't find it. I looked for it. I know.
All right, he doesn't have it, but we have other stuff. This is just the stuff that's displayed. Wait till you see the rooms of stuff not displayed. I just want him to turn his back so I could steal half of it, and I might do that.
Look you have the
Full
hair
disclosure.
back, and you don't
Transparency.
even realize it, Marcus Allen. Your hair is back. So wait, can you break down this Christmas special for me? What's so special about it?
Yeah, I can tell you all about it. So when Star Wars started exploding, Lucas wanted to make as much money as possible, and he cut a network deal to do a network Christmas special. And it's highly regarded, like most Star Wars fans are embarrassed by it, wish it had never happened. Is this right?
Pretty much,
Oh, it's
yes.
bad. Okay.
It's lovely.
It's lovely.
Lots of fun for, Ewoks and
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, they're like Ewoks sitting in Santa's lap. Just universes that shouldn't be combined.
right. Ewoks sitting on Wookiees' laps.
Ewoks sitting on Wookiee laps.
Of course, Rob knows about it. Wait, Rob, so is this
that
something
sounds
you
like
wish
the
you
name of a
had?
book.
No, I had only heard about it. But the fact that somebody has it, I mean, I figured if anyone has it, it's this guy. And I know that I have not met this man. And this is a little forward, but can I come over for Thanksgiving?
Oh!
I have family plans, but you know what? That can wait. If I want to see this holiday special, as bad as it is, I feel like as a true Star Wars fan,
Right.
We'll work
you have
on
to
it.
see it.
Wow, he's geeking out.
You are geeking.
Maybe it's back here, Rob. We'll work on it. We'll look through his collection and see if
Okay.
we can find it.
Okay.
Back to you guys. Much more to show.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Every square inch of the house.
Many of us collect things, stuffed animals, coins, maybe Coke bottles. I collect golf ball markers. A Salem man has a large Pez collection of Pez heads, and there's no sugarcoating in that statement. Today, he gave me a look at the king of candy dispensers. A Pez dispenser is about 5 inches tall. They're all colorful. Thousands of them take up a lot of room at Bill Faith's house.
I walk in the door and I smile. And I smile because I'm proud of it. I smile because it just makes me happy.
Bill's two favorites are Pluto, with all the different variations of the stems and colors of the heads. He's also fond of Halloween-related Pez. Those are dispensers he will always go after to grow his collection.
But I really like to target some of the stuff that's like the not so normal things, the conversation pieces, the really cool things that you just wouldn't see at a store someplace.
Most Pez, as you know, are hard plastic, but there are also some which are made of rubber. You can even squeeze them. In case you're wondering which one started the collection for Bill, it's this yellow-headed rooster. Bill found it in a toy box his mother gave him, and the collection started in 2004. She was collecting salt and pepper shakers. He has rare Pez, like this one, which is a jet black dispenser with a black inner sleeve, and another which could be personalized.
It came with a piece of gold foil that would lay over top of it. The kid could write their name on it.
Cars, characters, sports, seasons, Muppets, even penguins. Bill's collection has roughly 4,000 Pez dispenser. He loves seeing the Pez name.
So for me, it really means fun. It means nostalgia. It brings back memories from when I was a kid. For me, that's what it is.
Now, Bill Faith does not like the Pez candy, just the dispensers. The world record, by the way, is 5,850 unique Pez dispensers in one collection. It's a New Jersey man. Bill, by the way, is giving a talk Monday night about his collection. It'll be 6:30 at the Salem Public Library, and it's free.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lindsay Watson. Thanks for watching the WKBN 27 First News YouTube channel. If you want more video news, subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the WKBN 27 First News app for breaking news alerts.
There's not a cooler dinosaur around than Godzilla.
The first Godzilla movie burst onto the scene in 1954. The franchise has been thrilling fans in dozens of films ever since.
It's imagination unleashed. Once I saw Godzilla, I was totally spoiled for the rest of my life. And nothing else can compare. Not Star Wars, certainly not Marvel today. Nothing. I just prefer Godzilla.
Brett Homanek became so enamored with Godzilla, he moved to Japan from California.
It's totally because I love Godzilla. I would not be here for any other reason. I do interviews with people, Godzilla actors, Godzilla directors, Godzilla designers, and so forth. And I have a website where I've collected all these interviews together.
Japan is full of Godzilla movie alums.
Konnichiwa.
Masaki Damon appeared in 1974's Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. He remembers reacting to a monster that he had to imagine.
爆発したらこうなったりね。監督さんがパチンって向こうで手叩いたらそれと同時に爆発したんだとかさ、そういう雰囲気ですよ。
In this film, Godzilla saves the world from Mechagodzilla.
私が出た映画は友達でした。
He's a friend.
そう。
Okay, he's a friend.
強い味方。
But Godzilla wasn't always a friend.
Well, Godzilla was created in 1954. So Godzilla at its core is a warning against nuclear power and nuclear warfare. However, Godzilla evolved over time to become something of a hero and something of a friend to children as well.
The entire evolution of Godzilla is safely hidden inside an unmarked warehouse. Toho Studios is careful to keep the location a secret. We became the first TV cameras ever granted access to see decades of Godzilla treasure.
それが実際の本物がここには保管されています。ゴジラと戦うための兵器とか。
We saw how Godzilla has changed since that first movie.
ゴジラは毎作品顔が違うのが特徴です。
Most of the monsters here are actually suits that actors would have to wear.
So the actor looks through these holes to see the action.
ほとんど実は見えてない。
Almost 70 years of Godzilla all in one place.
僕が一番大好きな怪獣。
And for those lucky enough to work here, a hands-on experience with real movie monsters.
子供の時のゴジラ映画は、僕にとっては全部でしたね。All of my life. That was, yeah.
The warehouse will remain secret and off-limits to visitors. But Godzilla fans can still get pictures outside Toho Studios. That's where many of the movies were made. And in this area of Tokyo, head down Godzilla Road, and you'll see the legendary monster looming above the city. The Hotel Gracery lets you get up close and personal with the movie legend. There's a cafe inside where Godzilla is on the dessert menu. And there's a hotel room for the ultimate Godzilla experience. Imagine sleeping here. After more than 60 years and 30 movies, Godzilla is a survivor.
Long after people gave up on the character and decided, oh, no one wants to see Godzilla anymore. Well, Godzilla found a way to adapt and survive all over again. That's a testament to his character.
In the country that gave us this legend, the king of the monsters is still king.
Movies are the great American export. We almost invented them here. There are probably 300,000 movies made since the beginning of the last century. And all of those movies worldwide, they advertise them with posters.
Herbie McDaniel has Hollywood history rolled up in his garage. 20,000 movie posters are carefully crammed into every spare inch. The films behind these vintage visuals may be gone with the wind, but the posters themselves are ready for a second act at movieart.net.
I sell posters, original theatrical release movie posters. They're not reproductions, they're not reprints. If you want a poster of She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, we will have that, but it will be a poster from 1950 1951 or 1950 or whenever it was that was used to promote that film at a theater somewhere at that time. Here is a more recent poster. It's only 50 years old.
Oh, The Creature from the Black, what a famous title.
It is a famous title and very, very collected. This poster is worth about somewhere between $10,000 and $15,000 at this point. This movie art, Star Wars, yeah. Do you know what size?
Comedy, western, horror, sci-fi, action, and adventure. It's all here, and it's all databased in Kirby's computer. He needs quick access to this titanic collection because you never know what a collector will want. No matter how strange the request, it's not Kirby's job to ask why. It's his job to get it.
There are posters, when I started doing this, that I would say to myself as a dealer, who would want that? You know, who wants that Anthony Michael Hall poster?
Even Anthony Michael Hall?
Even Anthony Michael Hall. If you go back and you look at, a vintage poster, that poster, what we sell, is an actual artifact of the production of that film. And someone pays $9,000 for a lobby card from Frankenstein. They own a little bit of the whole production of that movie.
When Kirby started 40 years ago, his career choice may have seemed psycho, but it's been a wonderful life for this good fella. Now, movie art is the godfather of vintage posters in Texas, and Kirby McDaniel owes it all to the curious compulsion of collectors.
The chase, the pursuit of that thing is as important to that collector as actually getting it and owning the thing itself. It's sort of like a dog chasing a car, you know? They don't know why they're doing it, but they love to do it.
A church in Minnesota is giving thanks for a remarkable donation. It came from a member of the congregation whose generosity was revealed only after his death. In life, his gift was a carefully guarded secret, but it'll now affect generations to come. Mark Albert has the story.
Inside Celebration Church near Minneapolis is a congregation most grateful and in awe.
Praise God.
It kind of blew my mind.
I was truly amazed.
Amen. On a recent Sunday, Pastor Derek Ross delivered a sermon about generosity.
The Bible says that generosity is also like that it will enlarge your world.
It had been preached about often here through the years. No one, though, had any idea just how closely one of their flock had been listening.
Dennis left more than a gift of money. He truly left his life to us.
Dennis Erickson served as an usher here for 15 years. The church really was his family. He had no spouse, no kids, no brothers or sisters. Instead, he devoted himself to his church and his collection, a collection of cars. And when he died in his sleep in December, Dennis left his historic automobiles and his modest two-story home in Eagan, Minnesota, to Celebration Church. And boy, are they celebrating.
So you walk into the house for the first time, and what went through your mind?
A lot went through my mind. Not much came out of my mouth.
You were speechless.
For a guy who talks a lot, it was not often that I'm found at a lack of words. And yet it was in that moment that I became overwhelmed with his generosity.
Oh my gosh.
It's hard not to be overwhelmed.
Oh.
It's breathtaking.
Seeing for the first time all the model cars, trucks, tractors, and buses Dennis collected for 6 decades, ever since he was 9 years old.
They're stacked.
Yeah.
One on top of the other, on top of the other.
These are Lamborghinis, and these are the Cadillacs here.
Fire engines.
The tractor collection's pretty intense here.
Some are no bigger than an inch long,
Exactly.
but together they are quite the treasure.
This one container holds 48 cars.
There are more than 32,000, believed to be one of the largest private collections in the world.
Cabinets. This was originally his bedroom. These
The 69-year-old engineer designed cabinets and cases to showcase the collection, which he parked in the living room, bathroom, laundry room, closets, basement, and even in the bedrooms.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, this is the bed.
Yes.
They're on the bed.
He parked them on the bed too.
Oh, they're all the way
Hundreds.
under the bed.
Okay.
This is the kitchen.
The kitchen.
For Lisa Lundstrom, a member of the church board and the executor of the estate, it was a real revelation.
Awe and wonder was going through my head.
You said that you experienced wonder.
Yes.
Why did you choose that word?
Because wonder to me means not only the wonder of seeing cars, just the wonder of this man's life.
So he saved the boxes. It still has the plastic wrapper around it.
The Bible says it is more blessed to give than to receive. For Dennis's religious family, the blessings kept coming. Cars he ordered were still being delivered even after his death.
Oh, look up. Wow.
Yeah, look up.
In all, they total more than one a day for his entire 69 years on God's green earth.
This is the 66 Rambler.
And Dennis's devotion runneth over, filling his 2 garages.
This is a Caprice.
5 preserved classics, including a 1959 Edsel.
There's only 72,000 miles on the
Exactly.
odometer.
And Henry Ford's second mechanical marvel.
This is a 1931 Ford Model A.
Dennis would enter these beauties in car shows with his father.
This is unreal.
For Lisa Lundstrom, her surprise quickly gave way to something else, a feeling of divine responsibility.
I feel that one day I will be seeing my mom and dad and Dennis in heaven. And I know probably one of the first things I'm going to have to answer to Dennis for is what happened to all of his cars. Not just dollar-wise or where they went, but how his gift was used to help so many people.
And this whole area will just be classrooms going down.
The collection's likely 6-figure price tag will make it possible to build more classrooms at the church and expand its school. Pastor Ross says the congregation has doubled in size in just the past 9 months. The church hopes to break ground by December, a year after Dennis's death.
Yeah, 1 year later, his impact will be visible from the road.
I'm reminded that the 10th commandment is thou shalt not covet. But this is a pretty nice gift to have, isn't it?
You know, it was so funny. It is hard to not take pride in the gift of one man, because there was nothing I did or we did to earn it or deserve it, but it was just Dennis leaving his possessions to his family, which is his church family.
A collection that's turned into a vehicle for generosity and topped off this church's faith. For CBS This Morning Saturday, Mark Albert, Eagan, Minnesota.
It really is incredible. Mark says that some serious buyers have already come forward, but that they really want to keep the collection together.
It would be nice. 32,000 cars, that may be difficult, but I was so impressed with how organized he was in the house and that they were even in the bathroom drawer. It was amazing.
I enjoyed watching Mark go under the bed. They're even in here.
Yeah,
Taking Star Wars to a whole new level, tonight you'll feel the Force.
And there's a little bit of religion in Star Wars. Anybody can read into anything what they want to.
Is due out any time now, but for one man, our Tennessee traveler introduces us to the legacy began a long time ago.
But first, let's check stocks as of closing. The NASDAQ is down almost 7 points.
There have been 4 Star Wars movies and another one coming soon.
As our Tennessee traveler, Bob Brunner, reports this evening, there's one Knox County man for whom Star Wars is much more than a movie.
Come on, everybody, we're heading out with the Tennessee traveler.
It was 26 years ago when the first Star Wars movie came out. Brett Black was 4. He was hooked. He started collecting stuff. 26 years and 10,000 items later, he is still hooked.
just for the love of collecting, for the love of Star Wars. It's changed my life, and I don't think there's anything else in this world that I would rather be doing. I mean, there's a little bit of religion in Star Wars. Anybody can read into anything what they want to, but basically it's just given me an outlet from the stress of everyday hassles that we have to deal with. I can come home and basically jump into this and be at peace.
Brett doesn't want to sell any of this, like the rare life-size action figures he obtained through various sources, or the smaller items that cover his house's family room from floor to ceiling, wall to wall.
I would hope to someday put it on display at a museum, if possible. I have been offered that before at other places, other conventions. I don't see myself parting with it in any way as well.
26 years ago, a lot of youngsters got the Luke Skywalker fighter, but there's probably nobody else in Tennessee who's got this thing. This is Anakin's fighter. This is a collection that spans 26 years, and in many ways, it sums up a lifetime. Brett is already preparing to seek out strange new merchandise when the new Star Wars movie opens. I'm Bob Brunner, the Tennessee Traveler, remaining in this galaxy, but moving on.
The new Star Wars movie, the 5th in the series, will open in 2 weeks.
And what did you used to have?
I used to have the Millennium Falcon and the space station, and of course my brother and I used to play. I was Han Solo.
Okay.
He was Luke Skywalker.
Okay then. Well, we
yeah.
got it all
right,
figured
we got
out.
that settled. All right.
Well, for the weather for this evening, it looks very nice. Clear.
Souvenirs have been a hobby for years, but right now, Star Wars collectors, they're the ones in their heyday.
In fact, there's a man in West Knoxville whose collection is so big that State Farm Insurance Company had to make a special arrangement just to insure it all. It is the largest Star Wars collection in the state of Tennessee.
In a neighborhood not far, far away sits an amazing Star Wars collection.
My parents took me to see Star Wars, me and my older brother, and it changed my life. I just have collected Star Wars, and it's been a part of my life for the last 25 years.
Now Brett Black has more than 10,000 items on display.
This is a JCPenney's exclusive that they used for promotional reasons back in 1999 when Phantom Menace came out.
Begin, we will, your Jedi training.
This was actually auctioned off here in Knoxville from one of the blockbusters in 1999 when Phantom Menace was released. This is Jar Jar Binks. He was another Pepsi Frito-Lay's exclusive. This is a Colgate display from Episode 1. This is an R2-D2 telephone that they made back in 1998. What's neat about this is when the telephone rings, R2-D2 goes off. His head spins around. This is a Star Wars Episode 1 Pepsi can container that was only available for employees of Pepsi. And inside, when you open it up, it has every one of the Pepsi cans factory sealed with every one of the characters. That's a PVC cookie jar that they came out in 1999. And his head actually comes off, so you can put things down inside. This is a Space Battle spinning toothbrush holder that they made in 1999. This is a Heinz Star Wars pasta shapes and tomato sauce container that was available in the UK back in 1999 for Episode 1. This is a display item that Walmart and Toys R Us had when Episode 1 was released. I've met the majority of the cast of Star Wars, of all three of the trilogy movies, and also the Phantom Menace.
So with all this Star Wars stuff, is Brett's wife a little spacey?
She's very understanding. She goes to a lot of conventions with me. She's met a lot of the people that I have, so she gets a kick out of that.
And in case you're wondering, Brett is attending the debut tonight. And of course,
I'm very pumped, very pumped.
All right, Brett is head of a Star Wars collectors group here in East Tennessee, and you can go to their website tonight after 8 o'clock on our website, WBIR.com, so you can sign up for his group of collectors stuff.
Unbelievable. I want to know how he gets all the stuff from the Pepsi people, from JCPenney. I mean, does he beg them, do you think?
He pays money for it. He's had it since he was a kid. He goes to convention after convention.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah,
That's very impressive,
and
I
he
tell
has
you.
signatures from all the Chewbacca people and all those guys.
Is he getting dressed up for tonight?
He said he was not. I think he's just going to wear a T-shirt.
All right, all right. I was just wondering because he's got all the paraphernalia. So.
In fact, if we have time for this, I asked him the difference between Star Trek fans and Star Wars fans. He says Star Trekkies usually dress up. Star Wars fans don't. Kind of. Sometimes they do, but not like the Star Trek people.
Good tidbit here on Live at 5. Speaking of good tidbits, here's our big question of the day. More
big
Star
question.
Wars.
Who was the first character to speak in the original Star Wars?
Gosh, I remember.
C-3PO.
Oh, ooh, over the sand?
I think on the sand.
Yes.
I think he's telling R2-D2, let's go, little fella.
I like it. I would actually agree with you. But just for the sake, I'll say R2-D2.
Okay.
Good call.
We did.
Nice
we both got that.
Did you hear that? They shut down the main reactor. We'll be destroyed for sure. This is madness.
All right. Well, we were wrong about the sand.
But we were right about the character.
All right. That's pretty neat.
That's awesome. All right. Well, one.